Yeah, I'll react to that, sure.
American tourists in the wild. Okay. I'm Scottish. Was asked if we had TVs in Scotland. Didn't have the heart to tell them the Scots invented the didn't have the heart to tell them. I'm ready. In Kansas, a man said to me, if English was good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for me. I didn't bother trying to respond. When I say I'm from South Africa and they're like, where's that? The clue. Come on. About 20 years ago, when the big tsunami hit in Indonesia and Thailand, one of my online American friends was very worried for me because of the tsunami. I had to explain to her that I live in Denmark. I notice geography is a very common shortcoming in Americans. I notice. I read about an American who complained about a sign saying genuine Italian pizza because pizza is American. In Italy. The pizzeria was in Italy. I saw an American TikToker who got €500 worth of speeding tickets in Germany because she thought there was no speed limit in the whole country. Oh, I feel like we're gonna see worse ones than this, but you all lied to me. America couldn't understand why it took me 9 hours to get there and her only 3. Geography. I got told off by an American for stating my friend was black. The correct term is African American. I'm Irish and my friend is Irish. I swear an American can go to Africa, and if someone says black or African, they'll say, hey, African American. Oh, this is lifting up my spirits in a twisted, ironic. I got told, yeah. That's the best one yet. God bless his soul. I was on a South African reserve, had American guests who asked why the lions aren't on vegan. I just no words for that one. My great-granny had a house near a nature trail in the UK. It was remote, so she would often leave the doors unlocked. Once she came out of her bedroom, to find U.S. tourists sitting in her living room. They proceeded to tell her the service was terrible, and they'd been waiting half an hour for a cup of tea and lunch to be served and could have some chairs put out so they could take it out on the lawn. She quickly threw them out of her house. Excuse me, your service is terrible. This is my house. Get out. I had plenty of time to read that without pausing. At a reconstructed Viking village in Sweden, I was asked if the government treats us right. As if it were a reservation. She meant well, I guess. I was asked how haggis was made. I explained it was traditionally boiled in sheep's stomach. They asked how we get the haggis back out of the sheep. Had an American woman ask me if the moon here in South Africa is a different moon than the one they have in Texas. Hey. I was gonna defend as if, like, maybe you kind of have a slightly different view of the face of the moon, but she was asking if it was just a different moon. Okay. I told an American that Australian money looked different to USA money. She told me it was illegal to print your own money. I'm going through phases, like from funny to realization to depression, and I don't know what the next step is. I'm confused every time I hear an American insist that my neighbor is African American when he's never been to neither Africa nor America. He's third generation Swede and British before that. Oh, God. This is one I can, like, absolutely 100% can see happening. I have no doubt in this story. There's an American in our store who tried to get served before everyone else because he was an American, and we should be grateful that he is here. Okay. That's just... I hope that's fake, but I can see it not being. I asked an American what their nationality was in their passport, and they said white. I guess another kind of question a lot of people have about America from I'd say Canada or America, is our obsession with race, which I guess we have much more than elsewhere. What's your nationality? White. Irish. Though I've never lived in Ireland. I was guilty of that. I'm Australian, and I once had an American tell me my English was very good. I've had the same thing as a New Zealander. I said, thanks, I've been practicing since I learned to speak. Your American is very good. I don't know why I'm pausing, because it clearly seems like they give enough time. I got told that Australians can't be gay because only people in America can be gay. I was told by an American. No comments. Bilingual American here. I was speaking French to my son, and someone complained loudly how Spanish is taken over. They don't sound remotely similar. When I worked at a knitwear factory making knitted clothes, an American once asked me where we kept the colorful sheep, not realizing we dye the wool. We don't have purple sheep. Oh, God. I'm Scottish. Went on a cruise a few years ago. I heard that Americans can sometimes say pretty dumb things. I didn't believe this until half. I was talking with one people when I was on the boat, and an American asked me to turn off my accent because he couldn't understand me. Some of these are very believable. Some of these I hope are trolling, and some of these are just too stupid sounding for me to... I'm just hoping it's just not possible. I wouldn't put it past us. When I did a study abroad semester in America, someone once asked me... I gotta turn down the volume a bit. It just turns it down for me, I don't think for you. Maybe I should... when I did a study abroad semester in America, someone has asked me if we had knives and forks in England to eat our food. I have a Northern English accent, and the amount of people that asked me where in New Zealand I was from was quite impressive. I was shopping with my mom in the States. We were speaking Portuguese. The cashier asked me if we were speaking Jewish. Portuguese to me sounds more Russian than it sounds like Spanish. You know what I mean? Am I the only one who thinks that? Like, it is so easy to hear Spanish from Portuguese because Portuguese just, it has a little, like, Slavic sound to me in some words pronounced. Is that just me? A lot of Portuguese heritage here in southern New England, so. An American tourist got out of his hired car to bang on my window for not turning right on a red in London. Oh, do you guys turn left on red? Good question. Brought up my question. I can just picture him beeping, like, go. I was in Prague with my Glaswegian boyfriend. An American tourist approached us asking for directions. His boyfriend gave said directions. She stared at him for a second and proceeded to curse at him because no one in this S-heap can speak English. I then decided to translate for her. He does have a thick accent. She then told me that I need to work on my accent. I'm English. It isn't quite accurate. What? You don't sound American. Work on it. I had to explain to U.S. tourists and tell them that a squirrel was in fact not a rabbit. We have squirrels here. How did he not know before going? I go from laughing in a lot of these to sad to mad. I was at a cafe in Stockholm when an American girl came up, asked if I knew when the next train to Asgard leaves. She was totally serious. Please, stop. Where's Thor? Going to Greece? Can you point me to where Zeus lives? Where's Loki? I was in an Estonian language class with an American girl, she asked me, how the hell do Estonian children learn this language? I told her that people from other countries had different default languages than English. She didn't believe me. Please be joking. Someone I know doesn't agree that Egypt is in Africa. I asked them where they think it is. They said Saudi. Oh my god, I'm from Wales and I had an argument with an American in New Zealand that Wales wasn't a real place. I spoke some Welsh and she said, you're making that up. Had an American asked me, is I was ashamed. Oh, sorry, if. Had an American asked me if I was ashamed of my grandpa's actions during World War II and how I felt about my family being on the wrong side of history. Of the war, I'm Scottish. Yeah, that's the... I like being not afraid to ask questions and, like, guess, but being confident when your wrongness and your confidence are so strong, it makes me sad. Yeah. Guys, if you have any additional funny or miserable or just straight strange interactions or conversations with Americans that were stupid or weird, please let me know down in the comments or help me understand some of this stuff. In Mont Saint Michel, I wish I went. A family of Americans in front of me asked a shoekeeper if he spoke American. He responded English. They walked away. Nope, honey. Doesn't speak American. English. Oh, God. I can't take much more of this. Was asked by an American which part of Japan New Zealand was. Ah! No! No! I got a story for American Church in the Wild. I'm a German exchange student. One of my classmates found out and asked me if I knew some random German guy since Germany is a tiny town in Canada. I just walked away. Excuse me. Norway here. An American colleague visiting at our Norwegian office seriously asked why we had white people working in the cafeteria. Jesus. Was it a time traveler from 1950s Alabama? Jesus Christ. I got asked once in Latin America if Latin America had a president, like Latin America as in the whole South America, a single president. Yep. I think some people think Latin America is a continent. I'm pretty sure Latin America just refers to the, like, basically south of the United States. I'm not sure if Mexico is considered Latin America, but definitely everything south of Mexico all the way down to, like, Patagonia is, let's say, Latin America. I saw an American having a meltdown that the USA wasn't in the Commonwealth. I asked what he celebrated on the 4th of July. He said, you wouldn't understand. Okay. You don't get it. Hello, Cornish. My house is in an old church, and I recently had a tourist ring the doorbell attached to my house. When confronted, they said, there's no sign saying I can't ring it. Me, there's no sign saying you can either. Now, F off. I'm South African, and while working in the States, I was asked if it was my first time wearing clothes. I'm surprised they said that. Never mind. In Croatia, we heard Americans debating about whether there are bears in Europe. One said that no, they did not before we imported them there. American tourists in my restaurant in Canada. Canada! Couldn't believe we had, and I quote, people of color here because they thought we were albino. Not sure if it had something to do with the province Alberta. Was too stunned to ask. We are in Ontario. I can't. Okay. I'm Polish, and I was asked multiple times how was life during World War II, and was I forced to concentration camp. I'm 20. Yes. World War II in 2012. I got into a 5-minute argument with Americans because I refused to accept that I was a Filipino since I was tall, 5'8". Apparently I was lying to him because Filipinos can't grow any taller than 5'3". I'm begging that half of these are made up, but I'm not surprised if they're not. I'm Norwegian, and in 2014 I worked at the Norwegian Pavilion in Epcot. Ooh, I love Epcot. I haven't been in like 20 years, but Walt Disney World. Americans usually didn't believe that I could be Norwegian because I didn't have an accent. Apparently, you can't be perfectly bilingual. My friends with accent had apparently been paid to make the illusion more believable. Even when I spoke Norwegian in their face, I was pretending. We also apparently ride polar bears in the streets here. Ah, yes. And Australians ride kangaroos. I was once asked by a tourist why I'm not in school, and am I too poor to go to school? It was summer in Jamaica, and I was 13 enjoying the beach. My sister's roommates in her student exchange program were shocked. She knew about AC/DC, Nike, and the Beatles. They were American. She's Israeli. My sister's roommates in her student exchange program were shocked she knew about AC/DC, Nike, and the Beatles. They were American. She's Israeli. I was a Spanish-speaking exchange student in Missouri. And so many students didn't know Spain was in Europe. I swear most Americans, when you say, oh, I went to Spain, they think Mexico. The high school that I attended didn't even have language courses. Please be done. Has anyone encountered stuff like this, or do you think a lot of this is... That was bad. We're bad with things. So, 2 themes. We think that everything... Apparently, if you're from Africa, there are no clothes. We are awful at geography. And just racist and confused why other people... The one where someone was confused about why there were white people serving. Okay, great. Love y'all. Would appreciate any comments down below, especially on videos like this. See you guys next time. Bye. Jesus Christ.